Hey, I'm your host, Dr. Bob Lee, and you're watching Open. It's that live interactive program that brings the Bronx and New York City straight to your TV set. So stay connected to us through social media at BronxNet TV. Leading things off, our first guest is a former New York City firefighter and currently serves as the CEO of the Firefighters Children's Foundation. And he joins us to shed a little bit of light on the passion for inspiring the next generation through his foundation and so much more. So please welcome to the show. He's no stranger to the show, and he's been out in the community for a long time. The Rappin Fireman, Mr. John Ruiz Miranda. John, welcome.
Thank you, Dr. Bob Lee. Thank you for having me on your
John, I was
show.
going to ask you, since we've been out, we've known each other for so long that I was going to ask you to spit 16 for us.
Oh,
No, you don't have to
absolutely.
do it now.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
we always met up at these different schools, and we were always educating our youth, and it's a wonderful thing to be able to go inside of the schools and do some wonderful things for youngsters who now come up to us and say, hey, I remember you came to our school back in 1980 something or 90 something or 2000.
Oh,
Listen,
yeah.
listen, tell us how you got started in the business and how it all worked out for you.
Well, it was 1978, and they were recruiting for firefighters in New York City.
Yeah.
And my mother and I were up in Fordham Road, and one of the firefighters wanted to give me the application. And I said, I don't want to be a fireman. The people are running out of fires, not inside. I don't want to smell like smoke. I'm a lover, not a fighter. All
Uh,
this. My mother said, an immigrant from Puerto Rico, bopped me in the head and said, "Stupido." She took the application, she filled it out and sent it in. Then I found out all my friends were taking the fire department test. So then I was like, yeah, I'm taking it too. And out of about 10 of us, I was the only one that made it to the New York City Fire Department. I was
wow.
appointed in 1983. I was a probationary firefighter in 84, of course. And I was
Look
stationed
at
at
you.
35 engine over in East Harlem, 124th Street.
Uh,
And then a family member started a fire by playing with matches. So I brought a firefighter over to her school, and they were talking about the chemistry of fire in the second grade class, and that wasn't working. So on the way out to the playground, I heard these kids, they were rapping the music, and I was DJing like everybody else in the world was. And then I said, man, imagine if there was a rapping fireman. I said, man, how corny could that be? But then, I said, you know what? I could use this new medium, this new language to kind of save some lives,
yeah.
you know? And that's how it started. And I started doing it for free for 7 years, and I went bankrupt. And
Wow.
then all of a sudden, Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis gave me the Presidential Award. And then I got
Wow.
a bunch of other awards. I was on a lot of TV shows. And, that's where it began. So this is
Wow.
my 41st year of being the rapping fireman. I still go to about 30 schools a year,
Mm,
and we
yeah.
educate children and adults about fire safety and fire prevention, which is so much needed. You hear what's going out in California with all the fires that are out there.
Mhm.
The forest fires. It's incredible. The size of the Bronx. That's
Yeah.
how much area is burnt. The size of the Bronx. That's incredible. 24 deaths.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. What do you think about what's going on now with the California fires? What do you think
That's
they're going
that's
through?
yeah. You have 24 deaths. You know, um, the winds now up to about 70 miles an hour. So that's going to feed the flames.
Yeah.
You have three different fires. You have the Palisades fire, the Eaton fire, and the Hearst fire.
Yeah.
And 40,000 acres. It's about the size of the Bronx that's actually burning.
Yeah.
And it's unbelievable the amount of damage um, and 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 hurt that people are going through right now. And they're literally their history has been it's gone up in flames. All those pictures, all those family photos and the heirlooms and their property just overnight it's just disappeared. 150,000 people had to evacuate.
Yeah.
It's incredible, man. 40,000 acres, man.
Do
It's
you think
incredible.
it can? You think it could have been prevented any kind of way?
That's hard to say because forest fires are just that, forest wildfires. It's not contained to any area, so it just constantly, as long as you have wind, it's always going to expand. It's always going to grow because fire grows by air and wind.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a tough job for those firefighters there. I commend them on their service. And more so, I hear that there were many people who didn't have insurance, fire insurance. I can imagine their lives, right now. I mean, what they're going through is it's just incredible. So I ask everyone on your network, everyone that we're reaching out there, to say a prayer for those homeowners and those who have lost family. 24 people have died already so far, and hopefully that something happens and it contains this fire and it doesn't extend any further.
Yeah. That's that. And I know that you keep abreast of everything that's happening concerning fires and education and things of that nature. So let's switch it over to what inspired the idea behind the Firefighters Children's Foundation?
Well, I was doing the work already,
Yeah.
and I couldn't get any help. When I first started, they said, I was one out of 179 firefighters of color, department of 14,000 firefighters. So we already, we started off on a bad foot, But I thank God that now we have more firefighters of color and even women firefighters. I believe there's over 300 women firefighters.
Yeah.
So as I was educating the communities, people don't know, but in 2004, I started the Firehouse Circus. We had elephants, we had tigers,
Yeah.
had
I remember that.
a boxing kangaroo. The only thing we were missing was the unicorn. Oh my, you know. And so I started these programs, and nobody was helping me. I was educating. I went to all the politicians. You know how that is. Eventually, I became one, right? And so then I decided, we need a foundation. We need to be able to spread this message to save lives, to continue to save lives, to continue to educate. I was always involved in theater. My mother always told me, theater is beautiful, but make sure you have a job because
Yeah.
you still got to pay your rent and you still have to eat. And that's where being a firefighter helped me out tremendously. I started in 2010 the East Harlem Repertory Theater. And since then, we've brought plays like Mandela to the Broadway district, to high schools, to Catholic schools, to public schools. We just finished Scrooge at Riverbank State Park. We have Pathways to Freedom next Wednesday at the Jamaica Library. We've done Motown, we've done Freedom Fighters, we've done tribute to African American inventors, and at the same time, we're giving actors a job. Because theater is suffering right now. Community theater is suffering.
Yeah.
So these are some of the things that we've done. We're also doing concerts now, which we can talk about in a minute.
Yeah.
At the
But
same time, I'm still going to schools.
yeah. But you do have that concert coming up.
Yes, we do.
It's a fundraiser, right?
It is.
Yeah.
Everything that we do is a fundraiser. We're a non-for-profit organization. All proceeds go to our Firefighters Children's Foundation so we can do these wonderful things. We have a cartoon that we're working on, a 3D animated cartoon called The Rappin Fireman and His Safety Friends, man.
There you go.
It's big. Watch out, Disney. We're coming for you.
Here we come. The Rapping Fireman and His Safety Friends.
That's right. That's right. It's an animated cartoon. We're working on the trailer right now and see where it can go from there. But everybody knows me, man. I go to schools and I'll see a teacher that pull me in the side and say, I was the kid in the school when you came and taught me fire safety. So I run into a lot of people that thank God that remember me for the work that I've done in the community.
Yeah. Beautiful. And I've known you for years, as we mentioned before, and you've been doing this for a while. And I was wondering, are the elected officials helping you out, or the fire department, any other unions helping you out as far as fundraising?
Some of the electeds, they've contributed, through discretionary funding, very, very small amounts.
Yeah.
Our organizations continue to educate in their community. Fires don't discriminate. They're all over the place.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter you live in the Bronx in a high rise and a low rise, or if you have a $10 million apartment. It doesn't matter. And so, but it's not enough. It's never enough for the amount of work that we're doing. So this is where we have to raise some money in order to continue to grow as a foundation, to be able to extend the word out to all the communities.
Yeah.
And we go to Staten Island too. That's one of the places that we go to quite often, especially in June. We go there, put on about 10 shows, and everyone, whether you're white, black, Latino, and Asian, fire doesn't discriminate. You need that message, you need that knowledge, you need that education.
Yeah.
If you don't get it, no one will give it to you.
What are schools learning after one of your shows?
Okay, well, they're learning that they need to have a working smoke detector and to test that smoke detector at least once a week. Your smoke detector is your first line of defense. While you're sleeping, that smoke detector is your armed guard. It's working 24/7. So it's going to give you those valuable seconds that you don't have to begin with to get out alive, you know? And also about having a fire escape plan. That's very important. Two ways out: the front door and also the fire escape. And when you leave, close the door behind you.
Close the door.
Close the door behind you so that the air doesn't feed the fire and the smoke goes out in the hallway. Because what kills you first is the smoke because of the smoke inhalation.
Yeah.
The fire is what gets you later, but the smoke is what kills you first. Having a multi-purpose fire extinguisher, everyone should have one. It should be located in the kitchen. It's going to put out those grease fires, those electrical fires, and any type of fires, and keep matches and lighters and candles away from children.
Yeah. And some of the things you used to rap about back in the day, I know a new one you can probably do. It's called Get Low.
Stay low and go. That's right. One thing I learned that there's always a little air down low on the ground. So if you ever have to escape from a scene and there's a lot of smoke, lay on the ground, suck up the air from right at the bottom. That's going to give you enough air for you to breathe.
Yeah.
And, if you put your hand up against the wall, that'll either lead you to a door or a window.
Yeah. Was there any situation that you were in while fighting fires that you can say was extremely dangerous for you, where you didn't think that, you would survive it?
Bob, they tell you that if you're ever lost in a fire and there's someone that's blind in there, grab a hold of him because he knows how to get out.
Uh-huh.
In a fire, you can't see anything. You can't see the hand in front of your face because the smoke and the intense heat is going to bring you down to the ground.
Yeah.
The gases rise high. So, there's times that while you're in the fire, a room so simple, a room the size of this can feel like a gymnasium. So now imagine if you're in a gymnasium, if you're in an apartment that's really a large apartment, you can't see the walls. You can't see anything. So there's no telltale sign of where you're at in that room. So it's always, in your mind, you're trying to figure out where am I at, I always like when I see the fire and when I'm in a fire situation, because I know that it's right there. Once I put it out, it's over. But it's getting to it that you're going to run into the smoke.
Yeah.
And there's no visibility at all. It's going to seem like you're in a gymnasium, which is crazy. We had a job down at we're going back over 30 years ago, down at the Lincoln Tunnel, where all you kept doing is going downstairs, going downstairs, going downstairs. Oh my God. And you can't see anything. So you imagine you just going downstairs and it's like your mind is racing 100 miles a minute. Where am I? When am I going to reach the bottom? And what to expect when I get to the bottom?
Yeah.
So, but when I got on the job, the Bronx was still burning. So I was at 3514, and then I decided I want to go to the busiest firehouse in the world, which is 48 Engine up in the South Bronx.
Yeah.
Boy, we had like 20 runs a night. We always had workers. We had little emergencies, big emergencies, warehouse fires, and different things like that. So,
All right. Wow. And I know you've been through it, man, and God bless you and thank you for your service.
Very well.
Give me the information for the concert, because we want to help you raise some money for this.
Sure. It's the R&B Soul
and right after
Classic
this.
Valentine's concert. It's Saturday, February 8th, 2025. at Co-op City Auditorium. It's the newly renovated Co-op City Auditorium. It's nice. They got a really monster sound system.
Yeah.
They're located at 177 Drives a Loop. You want to get your tickets? You can call 646-771-2032 or go to rnbclassicevents.com.
And check it out. I'm going to throw to a quick video. Check this out.
The R&B Soul Classic Valentine's Concert, Saturday, February 8th, at the newly renovated Co-op City Auditorium, 177 Dreiser Loop, Bronx, New York, starring the silky smooth voice of the Love Man, Keith Washington. And Wilbur Hart, originator of the Delphonics, will teach you the meaning of love. And First Choice has your love prescription. Appearing live at the Co-op City Auditorium, join your hosts, Kenny Wu, Peter Wayne, and introducing Angela Joseph, guaranteed to be a love festival. Receive a $10 discount with code New Year. Sponsored by the Co-op City Theater Club, with all proceeds going to our Firefighters Children's Foundation.
There he goes. That's dope right there. It's going to be nice. Is this up on your website?
Yes, it is. If you go to rnbclassicevents.com, we're on Facebook under Co-op City Events and Concerts. And it's also on ofcfnyc.com and mandelaNYC.com.
John, thank you so much for your service and thank you for all that you do. We will see you there.
Thank you so much.
All right.
And I could just say this. Thank you so much.
All right. Catch you another day, another way. All right, we'll take a quick break. I've got more open coming up next.